What's up, Van Fam? Chad and I are here today at Owl Vans, which is a place you can come to take your ordinary van and make it look and perform a whole lot better. So today, Chad and I are getting some mods done on our van. We want to show you what those mods are and also show you around Owl Vans and all the cool stuff they are doing here and all the cool stuff they could do for your van.
My name's John, and I am the founder CEO of Owl Vans. We are a designer manufacturer of outdoor gear for sprinter vans and hopefully soon more makes. We think this industry is going to be here to stay. We love it. We love nature, the environment. We love being out in it. And so what we want to do is enable people to go out further, go out longer, be self-sufficient. And if we can do that through innovation and cool products, then we've met our goal.
So this behind me is the Owl Ultimate Revel, which has gotten a little bit of traction on the internet. It was one of the first kind of vans that we went crazy on. We've actually also got, this started life as obviously a Revel. We've also got a Storyteller Classic that we're gonna kind of build into the Ultimate Beast. That's down in Southern California right now because we got some brand new parts that no one's seen before, and those are gonna get put on that vehicle, and that's kind of how we're gonna debut them. So that should be a pretty cool build. We're gonna film all of that, and we'll have our videos of that launching on YouTube this year. Outside of that, I thought it'd be fun to just kind of walk through this van and what's kind of stock, what have we done to it. First and foremost, you'll see that the van is a little bit higher than stock. In here is a Van Compass 6.3, so that includes, you have adjustable falcons with a remote reservoir, and the way that works is the remote reservoir is kind of, it looks like an additional shock tube next to the main shock tube, and what that does is it allows for a larger volume of fluid in the shock, and so when you're off-road and that shock is moving back and forth, you're generating heat. And so by having a larger reservoir of fluid, you're going to keep the temperature in the shock lower, which means the shock is going to operate better, longer. That's why if you see on off-road race vehicles, they have giant reservoirs on the shocks, because it's going to keep that fluid cooler. And anyone that knows anything about vehicles, whether it's engine oil, water, shock oil, etc., keeping the fluid temperature down is going to make everything perform better. On the side here, we've done a Raptor liner. This is cosmetic and functional. The plastics on the side of these vans tend to discolor over time. The plastic and the UV turns what starts out as kind of a dark gray plastic into a light gray plastic, and it looks pretty cheap pretty fast. So we coat that, and then down here we coat these as well, because these are pretty prone to rock chips. And anyone that's spent a lot of time around sprinters knows that they are a bit of a rust bucket. The paint job from the factory is garbage, and there's I don't even know if there's a clear coat on them. I don't think there is, but it's really thin. And so what happens? You're off road, a little chip comes up, dents the takes the paint away, and over time you're going to get rust. And so we do this to protect the underside of the van. It also looks awesome, so that's a good plus. Up here you'll notice kind of more of a matte finish. This again is to protect the paint. You get a lot of war stripes as you're going off road, and the branches kind of scrape along the side, and so this protects the paint. It's an expel wrap, so it's actually much thicker and stronger than a typical vinyl wrap. This is a matte one, which also kind of gives it a nice look. And in addition to kind of just brushes and trees and all that kind of stuff, it's also nice if you mountain bike or ski or anything. Skis have sharp edges. You can lean the skis against this, and if they fall over and slide along the side of the van, it's not going to destroy the paint underneath, so that's nice. We carry the Raptor up here, again, mostly for aesthetics and for function. Once we get into the back end, you really get into what we're known for, which is our gear carriers. First and foremost, is this unlocked? Okay, good. It's awkward if it's not unlocked. Before we came along, everything was bumper mounted. You had to buy a big expensive bumper, and it really lowered the departure angle of a vehicle, which, if you don't know much about departure angles, if you ever gone in or out of a driveway with a car with a low front or something like that, and it kind of scrapes, well, it's the same thing on the back of a van. When you're going over terrain, you want to have a steep angle there, and if you have a big low-hanging bumper, it can get caught on things and get wrecked pretty quickly. So we invented these hinge-mounted systems. What's nice about them is you just saw how to get in and out of the van. You can operate the door from the inside, which you can't do with the swing-out system. It's also, again, that ground clearance and ease of use. You can open the doors easily. You can mount different options on here. This is our V2 bike carrier. And what's nice about this is we offer these mounting strips, so you can put, this is a large expedition box. You can put a medium box with a cage on top of it. Back here we've got a mini Sherpa plate, which is an additional place to mount different things that you're going to take on your adventures. We've got our one-up bike trays. One-ups, by the way, best bike trays in the business. shovel up there, Agency 6, and then this side is one of the most popular items for us. It's a ladder tire. One of the questions we get asked the most is, why is it important for me to put my tire on the back of the van? These vans start out life as commercial vehicles, and if you buy a Sprinter off the showroom floor, they've got tiny little high mileage kind of roller skate wheels, and so the cage under the van fits that roller skate wheel really well. The problem is you get into an oversized tire and people in their driveway stuff it in there, and then they get it closed, or they put in some extensions and they get it closed, and like, oh, I don't need to have my tire back here, I can fit the big one underneath. That's all great, but it's not great when you're out and you get a flat, because what happens is if you get a rear flat, and this van's lifted, but let's say it's not lifted. Let's say you're out on a trail where it's not flat pavement and you get a rear flat, well, that cage can't come down low enough to get the tire out from under the van. And so then people go, oh, you just jack it up. Well, one of the stupidest things you can do is take a vehicle on uneven terrain, like dirt or snow or mud or sand, crawl under it, and then have someone lift it up with the jack that comes with the vehicle while you're shaking the tire to try to get it out. Incredibly dangerous. You'll never catch me do it. That's why we put the tire on the back. And then lastly, it does also look cool, and everything we do has to function first. We try to make it look good as well, because these vans, you don't want to roll around in something that looks kind of homemade and junky. Not to go into too much detail with all this stuff, this is a brand new product for us. It's a hitch step. It's all machined aluminum. We really like to kind of put, like I mentioned, a nice finish on everything. Up here we put laser cut. This is machined aluminum, and then these tread plates are laser cut to have a sharper edge on them. And what that does, it allows you to get really good grip when you're stepping on it. And you can get these in different colors, so it's kind of a nice aesthetic change. Agency 6 shackle block here, which is, if you're going to do any off-roading, you definitely want a recovery point at the rear. There's not a great recovery point here. What this does, it allows you to attach a winch and drag a van out, which if you go on any of our adventures, kind of the whole point is to try stuff and get in a place where you wouldn't otherwise. And when you have recovery points and winches, you can have some fun, because if you get stuck, they drag you out pretty easily. People sometimes want to know how to climb the ladder. You have these foot pegs on the side. Ours are blue, yours aren't blue, they come in black. You step there, and then your next foot goes right there on the front. And it's actually really easy to get up the ladder and all the way onto the roof. You can also stand on the tire, which people kind of take for granted how nice that is. It's like having a platform. So if I have any boxes up here or anything up here that I want to get to, I have a nice comfortable place to stand, open up boxes, do things, do whatever I need to do. When you're on a ladder, you often can't free up your hands as easily. So that's nice to have. And then coming down still, again, pretty easy. Coming around the side, not a lot that we've done on the side of the van, other than, you know, as I showed you with the different wraps, we've got a fender flare here. These are some ditch lights, which if you go off-road, they're actually pretty handy, especially like in the snow and so on, wanting to see where the edges of the road are. Coming around to the front, this is a CA-tuned hammerhead. I love CA-tuned stuff. They're here kind of local to us in Sacramento. And I just really like the way this thing follows the lines of the van. I think it's one of the few bumpers that doesn't kind of look like Jay Leno, where the bottom of the van is just sticking out really big and looks kind of awkward. So this is a worn 12,000 pound platinum winch in there. I use it all the time. A lot of people put winches on their vehicles and never use them. This one gets used all the time. It's very, very handy to have. These are Baja Designs LP9s. People often ask why. You go with amber. Amber really helps in low visibility and things like fog, dust storms. Anytime you have something in the air, I don't know the science behind it, but the amber lights tend to cut through, and it's easier to see. It's sort of like red light at night. Some bedside clocks are red because it doesn't blind you, give you night blindness. It's the same thing with the ambers. For whatever reason, it cuts through fog and snow and low light conditions better than the super whites, which are really good just in general for off-road when you want to either light up the road a half mile in front of you. Yeah, so that's kind of a quick tour of the van. Again, we have suspension on this van, bumpers, our own roof rack, all our back end stuff. It's kind of become a signature van for us, and if you like this van, wait until you see the ultimate Storyteller, because it is this, everything we've learned since then, and then even more new cool stuff. So you definitely want to check that out.
So the first upgrade that we got, and the one we're most excited for, is the suspension upgrade. Now, the reason we got this was because the van, if you noticed it before, it was squatting a little bit in the back. We have our water back there, we have our batteries back there, we have all our stuff back there. It gives it a little bit of a squat in the back. So this suspension upgrade, the first thing you notice is that it brings it up the back, so it looks a lot more level, which looks really nice, and it makes the ride smoother as well. So we haven't taken it that far yet, but we've already noticed a much nicer ride, and we're really excited to take it on some windy highways and off-road. So check out the suspensions right here. You see them underneath here. They're by a company called Van Compass. These are the Falcons. And we went with the 4.3 Van Compass, which allows us to adjust them right here. So put it on 1 if we want them to be used off-road. 3 is on highways when it's a bit windier, and 2 is kind of more for, you know, every day. And even has this little mini dial so you can really lock it in. So we're leaving it on 2 for now because we're not doing anything extreme at the moment. But as soon as we go off-road, turn that baby to a number 1. So the second upgrade we got is this Aero Hood Spoiler by TerraWagon. Now it's this black piece right here, just kind of attaches right here. And the reason we got this is because this part of the hood kind of curves down, and if it gets chipped, which happens, you know, fairly often because, or could happen because, you know, rocks get kicked up, they smack right there. If it chips right there, it's really hard to kind of replace that or to fix it. So this will protect the whole front of the hood right here. But honestly, one of the main reasons we got it is because we just think it looks really, really cool here on the hood. The next mod we got is up there. It is the WeBoost Drive Reach. And what this does is allows our cell phones and our hotspots to get better reception when we're in the more remote areas. So let's go inside and I'll show you how it works. So the antenna on the roof has a wire attached to it that runs all the way to about here above the instrument panel. And that's where Alvans drilled the hole. Now that's something we definitely were not gonna do ourselves, which is why we hired these professionals to do it. They took out this instrument panel, had the wire run behind it, and then inside here, this is the actual WeBoost unit. This is what it looks like. So like I said, what it does is when we're in a rural area and there's really low signal, it'll grab the signal, boost it, and then this antenna will amplify the signal here in the van. So we've used these before in our past van. It worked really well. This is an updated model. So we're really excited about this to see how this one performs. Now, a couple of cool things that they did. They will, if you ask them to, mount it inside. If you want, we ask them not to do that so we can keep it wherever we want. We might put some Velcro on the back of that to really hold it into place, but they will mount it if you want. And they added this right here, which we're really excited about. This is a 12-volt outlet cigarette type. So we can just take the WeBoost plug it in there, we'll leave it plugged in, and anytime we want it to work, switch it on. We don't even need the inverter on for that to work. So it's really cool. We got this nice little switch here. Very satisfying to turn it on and off whenever we just need a little bit of boost for our cell signal. Now, when we got into Alvans, that was all we were gonna get done, but we got one last mod, and that's this hat. But seriously, when you go there, when we went there, we saw all the cool things that they have there. And we definitely left thinking of a few more things that we might be adding to this van. We're really excited to see John really deck out his new Storyteller and see how he does that, all the new things they're adding for Storyteller. And we're definitely gonna be back to Alvans for some new stuff in the future. If you guys wanna check out Alvans yourselves, they're a really cool company. We love them a lot. They obviously really, really great work on this van. So we'll have them linked up in the description. You can go right to their website. They have a really cool Instagram as well, where you can check out all the different mods and accessories that they've added to vans. If you guys liked this video, if you liked all the things that Alvans is doing, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up and then subscribe to the channel for more questionable van life content. If you guys have anything you've added from Alvans or want to add, let us know in the comments section down below. Or if you think there's stuff that we should be adding to our van, let us know in the comments section. Thanks so much for checking out this video, guys, and we'll see you next time.